Hey, RetconRaider here. Today's video is dedicated to AdriRaven and Exsellsior, with special thanks to Mike Spark and Valinrook, who both helped sponsor the series. Thanks for your support, guys. That said, let's get started. And welcome back to Phoenix Point, as we take one step closer to the edge. Now, as you may have guessed, considering the current focus, I've considered our options and I think this has to be our next move. Completing that mission would give us immediate access to all of the Disciples' currently completed tech. That includes things like priests, berserkers, not to mention mutation tech, all of which would give us a pretty significant boost on the battlefield. Of course, the downside is that this will almost certainly end up upsetting New Jericho, and I would like to hit 50 rep with them as well. We'll just have to hope they get over it once we actively start working against the Disciples of Anu. Like I said before, we're strictly in this for the short-term benefits. We're not planning long-term alliances with any of these guys. With that in mind, we're actually in pretty good shape, so let's get right to it.
Research complete.
Chiron Autopsy. Summary. Chirons are a newly discovered mutation without any previous precedent. We speculate that they originate from a more advanced structure than those used to gestate Arthrons and Tritons. They fulfill a support role, attacking from great distances, although some mutations also have close-range capabilities. Genetic origins: 20% arthropod, 15% Coleoptera, 10% Homo sapiens, 55% unknown. Function: long-range attack, limited close-range capability in some mutations. Offensive mutations: abdominal launchers, explosives, worms, goo. Close-range stunning stomper legs, front leg melee variant. Defensive mutations: heavily armored legs. Mobility: very limited, but agile variant can leap. Weakness: the head is poorly armored. Target for maximum damage. Well, as usual, not a lot there that really helps us, but at least we got resources out of it. The fourth initiation. A group of New Jericho soldiers is occupying this site, which is considered sacred by the Disciples of Anu. The Blind Legate has tasked us to destroy them in the name of the Exalted. Just to make this clear, we are not doing this for the Exalted. We're doing this for the Phoenix Project. And for the future of the planet, I suppose. Anyway, I double-checked our loadouts before I started recording, so we should be good to go. Okay, right off the bat, we've got a tower. That's actually a pretty good place to set up our snipers. And we've got a large central building and a second tower. Plus a whole lot of open courtyard, which actually works to our advantage. Generally speaking, New Jericho soldiers are at their most dangerous at medium range. Their Gauss weaponry and explosives are powerful, but they're also fairly inaccurate.
All set.
As long as we can keep our distance, we should have the advantage. Oh, that was quick. I was really hoping they were all hiding in that temple. Okay, so we've got our first heavy on the field. The machine gun's no big deal, but that Fury 2 missile launcher could be a problem. Not only could it cripple our soldiers in a single shot, but it also turns that tower into a death trap.
5 by 5.
Fortunately, I'm pretty sure we can take that guy out in a single turn.
Moving out.
Yeah, we should be fine. Alright, let's bring Lunacity out to the side here.
Aiming. Kill confirmed.
Very nice. No drops, though.
I'm ready.
Now, I'm not crazy about leaving Lunacity out in the open like that, but
5 by 5.
he should be fine. Let's get those entrances covered.
Advancing.
Oh, we've got a sniper on the field. Well, let's keep our guys behind full cover. Can't shoot us if he can't see us.
What's our plan?
No time to waste.
Let's make sure our snipers are all set here. Alright, let's see how this goes.
I'm sticking to the plan.
Hostiles in sight.
Oh, okay.
Stay sharp.
Well, they definitely know we're here. Thankfully, it looks like they were too slow to actually reach attack range. Alright, first things first, let's go for the easy targets.
Ready to fire. Identifying target. Taking aim. Threat eliminated.
That's one down. 3 more to go.
What's our move? Moving. Aiming. Hold position.
You know what? We can probably just take out those snipers with our assaults. Let's see what we can do about this heavy.
All set.
Ready for action.
Okay, I think I've got a plan here.
5 by 5.
Let's get Mike in there.
Gotta keep going.
On the move. Identifying target.
Wow, okay. Oh, hey, we've got a Fury 2 on the field here. We definitely don't want to leave that behind. Alright, slight change of plans here.
I'm going.
Let's see if we can get away with just maiming one of these guys. Okay. Let's try that again. All right. Well, all in then. Okay, so much for keeping that guy alive. Let's go for the heavy instead.
believe is a clear shot.
Whoa.
Enemy down.
Hey. You know what? That's not what I was going for, but that was a damn fine shot.
What's our plan?
Though it does look like that's going to cost us that back mount. That's a shame.
Comms online.
Channel open. Sprinting to position.
Oh, hey, we're still in business. One more ping, so
All set.
let's see what we've got here. Ah, sniper. Well, I think Mike's got that under control. Let's grab that loot. All right, let's wrap this up.
Advancing.
Sorry about this. I've gotta say, that went a whole lot smoother than I thought it would. No accounting for luck, I suppose.
Do you understand why your actions were necessary? Why the site is sacred? It is here that the conditions existed which brought forth a better body with a free mind. One without the other is meaningless. The Exalted bids us understand. Why here? To fathom why the site is sacred is to fathom how other sites may become sacred also. Keep on this path, and you shall hear the voice of the Shadowed Hierarch, and after him, the wisdom of the Synod of Yearning.
Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Still, I'm certainly not going to complain about getting a free priest. I actually forgot about that part of the reward. Let's go have a look at this guy. Raziel Reaver Malachi. The name actually sounds kind of familiar. Though we will, of course, be renaming him once I get a chance to look at the waiting list. I usually try to check that stuff in advance, but didn't really expect to get a new recruit today. Interesting. The Thief perk. I usually end up seeing that on heavies, where it is completely useless. That actually opens up some interesting possibilities here. I've never had a priest infiltrator before. Anyway, we will worry about the new guy a little later. For now, let's have a look at all that new tech we just got. Now, we've actually got a fair amount to work through here, so I will try to keep this quick. Feel free to skip ahead if you've already seen this stuff. Anu religion. The disciples of Anu are a syncretic religion dedicated to the pursuit of biological perfection. Strongly hierarchical, they are led by a being known as the Exalted.
Research complete.
The Exalted teaches that the source of human suffering is that perfect human souls are trapped in imperfect human bodies. Humanity is insufficiently evolved, and the flaws inherent in our current biology are the cause of the terrible things our history is so full of. The Pandora virus is both a form of divine punishment and an opportunity for the faithful to biologically improve themselves. These principles are set down in the Gospel of the Exalted, which also foretells the coming liturgy of the divine flesh, an eschatological event that the disciples must prepare for. It is important to note that the disciples do not worship the Pandorans or the Pandora virus, but see them as obstacles to be overcome on the road to biological perfection. Disciples of Anu equipment. The disciples of Anu are taught from an early age that through skill, action, and devotion, they can rise in society and become closer to the Exalted. Fighting the Pandorans is an essential part of that.
Research complete.
The Exalted teaches that while the Pandora virus was sent by the dead god, it is not to be worshipped. The Pandoran plague, sometimes referred to as a Great Flood, is a punishment for humanity's sins and an opportunity for self-improvement, and fighting the Pandorans is an essential part of humanity's path to a better future. That is why the disciples of Anu have developed their own equipment to instill pride and faith among its warriors. Mutation technology. Mutation technology can be employed to extend the physical capabilities of soldiers.
Research complete.
This technology represents a first step towards mastering the mutation mechanics of the Pandora virus. Test subjects have been injected with modified strains of the infection under carefully controlled conditions, and with the addition of a chemical cocktail intended to keep the virus from asserting control over the subject. The process is still experimental, and there may be some side effects, but the potential benefits to our soldiers are worth the risk. Advanced mutation technology. Advances in mutation technology will further expand human capabilities.
Research complete.
Multiple new mutations have been developed, allowing humans to become faster, more agile, and have the power to stun enemies in battle. These new procedures are now available at the Mutation Laboratory. Which does remind me, we actually need to build one of those labs. Fungal food production. The Anu method of producing food via the fungal fields known as the Fields of Transubstantiation could be improved and expanded.
Research complete.
A new breed of crops has been developed based on a highly modified version of the fungi used in the traditional Anu method of transubstantiating the bodies of the dead in the Fields of Transubstantiation. Capable of thriving in nearly any conditions, the new fungal crops are capable of producing virus-free nutrition in large quantities. The fungi will also prove useful in improving our own food output. Tiamat development.
Research complete.
While appearing to be a piece of technology, the Anu dirigible is part machine and part living organism. Based on the design of a pre-plague airship, the disciples of Anu have enhanced their version, making it more durable and efficient. The ship can sustain heavy damage while transporting a squad of 8 soldiers to any desired location. Speed and maneuverability are considered lacking, though the craft makes up for it with its storage capacity and range. Berserker class. The Berserker class of soldier was designed by the Anu leadership to be a living weapon.
Research complete.
According to the teachings of the Exalted, the Berserkers represent another step towards the perfection of the human body. Their enhanced combat abilities and greater tolerance for radical mutation are a manifestation of the soul of the warrior embodied in each of them. That which is best within them, a new pamphlet claims, the desire to fight and sacrifice for the greater good, has now been given biological expression. In keeping with Anu methods, the rhetoric disguises significant advances in biotechnology and careful strategic planning. The Berserker Soldier class was developed to counteract certain weaknesses in the Anu military, as perceived by Taxiarch Nergal and the Blind Legate, but the technologies and training protocols involved will prove just as useful to the Phoenix Project. Anu Priest class. Despite appearances, the Anu Priest is a formidable class of soldier, backed by powerful technologies.
Research complete.
The Anu Priest, technically called the Hyrus of the Prophet of the Dead God, is supposed to be an extension of the will of the Exalted, guiding and protecting the people in her name. To this end, they have been granted sacred forms of mutation and various holy powers, such as the ability to control the minds of the weak and to manipulate the mist. However, underneath the religious terminology lies an ingenious combination of advanced tech and specialized training, put together by the Exalted and her closest advisor, Taxiarch Nergal. We now have a complete understanding of the methods involved in training this class of soldier, and can apply them as necessary. Moving into the home stretch here. Advanced melee weapons. Developing new melee weapons would enhance the Berserker's effectiveness.
Research complete.
Through experimentation with different melee weapons and offensive and defensive techniques, adapted from a variety of existing close-quarters combat styles, a new set of melee weapons has been developed. Though, to be brutally honest, I don't think these are actually worth using post-launch. Doubling the AP cost might have been too much. Mutagen harvesting. A method for extracting mutagens from captured Pandorans is being devised. The process is still in its infancy, but should it be successful, it would provide us with a virtually endless source of mutagens. Which is exactly why we've been taking all those extra captives. Also worth noting that, unlike the other projects we just unlocked, this one is actually part of the Phoenix Project research tree, so we will have to spend a couple of days unlocking it. Let's get that added to the queue. And that gives us a lot more options to play with. Though, sadly, it looks like we didn't actually unlock the Fury 2 project. Guess we'll have to keep an eye out for another one. That also gives us a fair amount of resources to work with, so I think it's about time we start stacking our production queue. We could really use more rifles and armor. Plus an iconoclast or two. That's actually one of the best shotguns in the game. At any rate, let's get our guys back to base. I'd like to completely redo our squad structures and set up that new production queue. But that's going to take some thought. I didn't think we'd actually get this far today. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. We need to get another scan started, and it looks like our next Phoenix base is hidden in southern Africa, so we'll have our airship split up. One will head straight back to base, the other will get a new scan started, and then we'll regroup at PHB-1, hit the pause button, and get our new squad set up. After that, we'll see what we can do with whatever time we've got left.
Research complete.
Acid worm autopsy. Key findings. The creature contains a powerful acid of unknown chemical structure. Its only purpose is to move towards a target and explode, with the hope of damaging or destroying the target. Genetic origin. 24% Sicilian. 76% unknown. Function. Seek and destroy. The corrosive payload can eat through all known armor types, and represents a serious threat to vehicles and heavily armored infantry. Weakness. Relatively easy to kill with automatic weapons. So, shoot them before they explode on you. Duly noted. Oh, that does remind me though, we do need to get started on that mutation lab. That's a pretty vital step towards mutating our soldiers. Though it will take 4 days to complete. Glad we got that now. Alright, that leaves us with one last slot at Phoenix Point, which I'm hoping we can use for a defensive structure. We'll have to see which one we unlock first. Okay, let's get that scan started. There we go. And let's regroup. Well, I was hoping we could trigger an event or something, but back to PHB. Alright, well, we are barely 30 minutes in. I was not expecting to burn through that mission so quickly. Like I said, let's hit the pause button and I will get our squads reconfigured and set up our manufacturing queue, and we'll be right back. And we are back. Man, it's been a while since we've gotten to do a mid-episode break. Good thing, too. I really needed some caffeine. Who knew the holidays could be so exhausting? Anyway, I've got our new squad set up, so let's run through it real quick. Okay, now, I should note that while the members of the squad haven't actually changed all that much, I have assigned each of them a specialty role. The general idea being that I want each 6-man squad to be capable on its own, but also flexible enough to complement another squad if we happen to have 2 of them traveling together. That way we could just plug and play members from one squad to the other to fit whatever we need for that particular mission. In this case, Alois is our first assault priest. Essentially our squad's controller, particularly useful against human opponents. Then we've got Mike falling into the role of pointman and enforcer. Highly mobile, equipped with a shotgun and melee mutations. Capable of tearing up enemies, but also fairly tough and completely immune to crippling injuries and mind control, which is vital if we actually want to keep him on point. Basically, he's your standard shotgun assault. Then we've got Priest, who's slated to become the squad's combat medic, which at the moment just means he's an assault with a medkit, and a perk that grants bonus healing. The plan, though, is to cross-class him with Technician as soon as we get access to that research. Not sure when that'll be, but when it does happen, he'll be much more effective as a healer. Then we've got Valen, who, of course, is the squad's heavy, and in this case, I decided to go ahead and cross-class him with Berserker, just like Alistair. I'll be honest, Assault could have worked as well, but I figured we already had enough Assaults in one squad, so I just thought we'd try something different. It makes him a bit tougher, it lets him use handguns. And armor break does work pretty nicely with things like machine guns and most explosive weaponry. And then we round things out with a couple of snipers. Basically our long-range strikers. Pretty much vital in the current build. I'm not actually sure exactly what I want to do with these guys just yet, but I'm leaning towards making one a dedicated single-class sniper, and then crossing the other with an infiltrator. More DPS and more options on the battlefield. Then we've got the B Squad with Nod as its controller, Leroy as the Enforcer Point Man, Wizard as the Aspiring Medic, Alistair, of course, as the Heavy, and MZ and Lunacity as the Squad Snipers. As for the rest of these guys, well, they're actually already halfway towards making a third squad on their own. Though for now, they're obviously better suited to stay in training and serve as a makeshift garrison for PHB-1. In fact, we'll eventually want to have at least 4 to 6 soldiers in every one of our bases. As the mist continues to spread, they will start getting attacked. That aside, it's never a bad idea to keep a few extras in reserve, just in case we end up needing a few replacements. Anyway, we've got about 10 minutes left on the clock, and I did not plan this far ahead, so let's have a look around. Okay, we're really just passing time at this point, so let's go ahead and start clearing these nodes out. In fact, let's start with this cluster over here in Europe. Let's get that handgun on Valen. Oh, encumbrance. The Falcon cannot hear the falconer. We have received multiple reports of flocks of birds flying in strange, repeating spiral patterns. They persist in doing so until death from exhaustion or malnutrition. Unfortunately, we have been unable to locate a specimen to examine, so we cannot determine whether this anomalous behavior is the result of Pandora virus infection or not. Honestly, I'm just surprised there are still birds. Oh, it is worth noting that there is another Disciple Haven under attack. It's just way too far away for us to care. Sorry, guys. Nice. Not the biggest reward, but I'm certainly not complaining. Sanedrion Haven. No recruits, no trading. Remains. Our operatives have located an abandoned military outpost. It is unclear which nation's military it belonged to, since this region's government fractured heavily during World War III. All available resources have been recovered. No additional information regarding the site itself has come to light. Huh. Okay, so really it's just the generic abandoned military base event, but with different text and a heavier reward. Still not complaining. That actually gives us enough for a new recruit. I'll have to check around between episodes.
and destroy.
Ah, another scavenging site. Ah. And that is what happens when we push our luck. Alright, I guess we're going into overtime. Okay, we've got one heavy crabman gunner. And nothing else in immediate line of sight. Well, I guess this is as good a place as any to make our stand. First things first, we need to take out that Arthron. That guy could actually one-shot most of our soldiers. It is tempting to go for the capture, but we don't want to overextend just yet. Nothing. Alright, he is done. I don't like that we haven't seen any other enemies yet. There has to be something else out here. Well, let's get ourselves entrenched and, Oh, okay. That would be what they spent the rest of their points on. Okay, well, we already took out the Arthron it was using as a spotter, so it'll have to come closer to get line of sight. We'll just set up for its approach.
I'm on the move.
We might still have a few smaller enemies around here too, so let's make sure we keep our bases covered.
Overwatching.
Alright, here we go. Well, it definitely came closer. And I'm pretty sure it's alone, too.
5 by 5.
Let's see if we can pull off the same move we did last time. Not sure if we actually have to wait for it to look at us first. Nope, tagging the leg works too.
Standing by. Crunch time. Gotta keep on pushing.
Yeah, we're definitely going to need Mike for this, so let's get him out here.
Gotta keep going.
Alright, let's scatter just in case. No other enemies in sight, so we should be fine.
Keep it together, operative. Okay.
Now we just need to prep for reinforcements. No telling what side they might come from. Nice. We are definitely alone.
Comms online.
Now we just regroup.
On my way. Be right there. I'm here.
Our evac's about to appear, so that will definitely spawn reinforcements.
Covering.
I'm ready. Moving out.
And there they are. I think that's actually right behind us. There's our evac, opposite the reinforcements. Now, we saw at least 2 Tritons and a Mindfragger, but they all look like melee variants, so really, we just have to outrun them.
Moving fast.
We do need to watch the edges, though. I think additional reinforcements spawn every turn.
All set.
Repositioning.
Right, we've got an Arthron. And another Triton.
Succeeded.
Nice. There's the Mind Fragger. And the Wiggly Arm Triton. Okay, I think we're ready to make our exit. Oh, shoot. Looks like we're one space short. So we're stuck here for another turn. Well, let's plan accordingly.
Hold in position. 5 by 5.
Be right there.
You know, I do find it interesting that they basically sent a bunch of capture units after us. Alright, we are basically done, but
Zooming in.
let's see if we can snag an extra kill or two on our way out. Very nice. Not lethal, but it definitely sets us up for a kill.
Kill confirmed. I'm ready.
I think we're done here.
I'm on the move.
And I'll just assume we airlift the Chiron out afterwards. Okay, let's go make sure we got credit for that Chiron. Looks like we did. That's basically 300 free mutagen. Alright folks, we ran into some overtime there, but I think we're at a pretty good stopping point. And as usual, I feel like we made some pretty solid progress today. We'll hit the pause button for now, but we'll pick up here next time, as we continue our push into South Africa, and hopefully get that mutation lab up and running. See you then. Oh, and remember, although I do love playing Phoenix Point, you can find out more about the game by visiting the official website, the official YouTube channel, the official Discord server, the official Facebook page, the official Twitter feed, or the original crowdfunding campaign over on Fig. Links are in the description.